Let's see. If you're happy and clap your hand, clap your hand. Galit na galit lang yun. Have you ever heard of this term, LBH? Ayan, Urban Dictionary. Loser back home is an expat in good social, romantic, and or financial situation that the speaker believes he would not be or have been able to achieve back home. Implies that the subject became an expat because he couldn't hack it amongst his countrymen. Often abbreviated to LBH, but that page has a gajillion definitions saying it stands for let's be honest. So after reading this, and this is the power of reading, guys, when you read certain things, your vocabulary as well grows. And that's why I always advocate reading books, reading articles, reading, just period, because there's a lot of knowledge in it. Okay, I'm pretty sure some of you already but for some that doesn't know about this, so sexpats originate from all major Western countries. Yet, it has been noted that the English, Germans, and Americans make up the vast majority of the vile men. Vile men that are on the prowl for sex in Southeast Asia. Sexpats have only 3 main motivations: to get drunk, sleep with hookahs, and to survive in Asia as long as possible. So sa Tagalog, tatlo daw ang nagpapamotivate. Ano ba ang nagbibigay motibasyon sa mga sexpats? Una is maglasing. Pangalawa is matulog kasama ang mga pokpok. I love that word. It's been a while since I've used that word. And of course, yung pangatlo daw is mag-survive sa Asia as long as possible. So those 3 are the motivations of the sexpats. They support themselves in a number of ways. The lucky ones have taken early retirement and spent the days sleeping off hangovers or going to the clinic to get another HIV. That's why it says urban, right? Urban Dictionary. So harsh, ayan. Some have set up businesses and have opened a bar or a restaurant selling their native cuisine, with the unlucky ones having to make do with being a TEFL teacher or scraping a living as a digital nomad while gloating about the greatness of their lifestyle. So why am I talking about the sexpat and particularly this? LBH, loser back home. This has been a thing in Japan for a long time. And this is coming from the Japanese side of me. You're talking to my Japanese side in English, of course, for everyone to understand. But this loser back home has been a long list of we already have stereotypes of these people in Japan. This is just not now. This is not just a thing that is now. It just happened that it's became a trend on the mainstream, on the social media, and it is being lightened up or shown up for everyone to actually acquire. This has been a long that's why I've never dated whatever. But anyways, aside from that, definitely we're just gonna use this for now. It's not going anywhere earlier, so definitely just this. What's LBH in Japan? Yes, so this is a question experts keep getting from time to time. Now we have the complete detailed explanation and answer for everyone who is interested. Are you interested? And are you one of it? Ayan, so LBH stands for loser back home. In Japan, a world of its own, which we are, is the concept of a loser gaijin. So when you say gaijin, this word, guys, it means foreigner. But through time, obviously, people get offended a lot. The word gaijin, this is just the word we call foreigners. That's the word. But some people get offensive when you call them gaijin, especially if you put loser gaijin. That's definitely belittling someone. Older Japanese people that doesn't really want to deal with foreigners, and they have their reasons why. Okay, let's go again. In Japan, a world of its own, the concept of a loser gaijin just doesn't exist. unless the Japanese person has had experiences with foreigners abroad. Same goes for Japan, thus in an unusual foreigner and the same sparks of curiosity fly. Can you have LBH plus? What's the plus? So this one is actually pretty interesting to me just because, this is something that I think for a lot of male, you should really, really think about. And I think this research or this article is just kind of like very interesting and can spark a little bit of discussion in your own head, in your own thought, or in your own group of people. Is lessons from the NFL on mental fitness and masculinity norms. So, what research shows about masculinity, mental health, and elite athletes? So the key points in this article, is that research suggests that popular culture plays an important role in the lives of young Black males. Among males, studies show that manhood and masculinity norms contribute to males' mental health. And elite athletes, such as NFL players, can play critical roles in addressing mental health stigma in males. So this research has consistently shown over the years that males are less likely to seek therapy than females. However, as the topic of mental health is trending, some may wonder if that is changing. Are males changing perspectives on the benefits of exploring mental health challenges and tackling traumatic experiences? Mental health is something very, very important, and for the longest time, this has been an stigma, especially for males, because males has a lot of pressure on their shoulder where
act like a man,
to be like this, don't show your emotion and stuff like that. And that's not really good for the most part, going through life. Oh my God, I feel like I'm such an adult. How our mental intelligence, because there's like academically you're intelligent, you're genius at things, but at the same time, life, you cannot just deal with life. They call it street smart, book smart, however you want to call and term it like that. But for me, for the most part, I feel like when we talk about certain things, maturity, mental health, I really, really feel like people just take things or what it's worth because this is famous. This has been going on because it's trending. You have all of these people, like they call it guru. People would associate to me because I talk like how I talk. I don't like to be called guru. I don't like it. There's just something in that term that's just really kind of like bastardized that it just gives a sour taste in my mouth. ICEE, the mental health guru. I know, Poots, you're trying to like find something where you're not the only one. You're not the only one, Poots. I've been dealing with a lot of this my whole life. That's why I said practice is really, really good. Practice on things that we don't know. Like my whole life, I feel like I practice debating or trying to protect myself or trying to do a lot of things. Usually, this is one. In Japan, we stereotype LBH in such a thing because loser back home, right? We stigmatize these people because they fit the stereotype. For one, if you go to Japan and you see I'm trying to be very, very, very careful. Because I'm not coming from a bad place. I'm not going to say this because I want to belittle these LBH people if they fit the category. I'm just stating what we see as Japanese women of how these people are coming to Japan in. So one is that you look at them and you would say, but anyways, joking aside, I feel like I would just categorize this as a whole, also with Japanese friends of mine and people like here in Japan. If you live here, these are the things that you will hear that categorize LBH and, of course, the influx of Western men that are coming to Japan. So one, they're the ones who cannot get pussy in their country. So they usually think that coming to Japan is going to be different. They had that expectation. And usually these are the ones who are not really in the five and up category of ranking, okay? Yeah, but it's getting worse now with the entitlement. Exactly. If you're in Japan, you can see the tourists, but you know they're tourists. Not a lot of Japanese have that one-on-one kind of like interaction with a foreigner. So for a Japanese who never been outside of Japan, they only know one thing. Like even in the Philippines, when I was there, sometimes if I would think of this in a hindsight, I've told these stories. So before I've been in America, before I've seen parts of America, I felt that all Mexican are handsome. That's my thought. All Mexicans are handsome. And also all American houses have swimming pool, you know. That's my whole bubble thing. Like that's all I know. And then I get there. And then I get to see Mexican. And then I get to see the diversity. Like, oh my God. So that's the same thing in Japan. You know, now more and more of foreigners are coming to Japan. More and more Japanese women are exposed to foreigners. Not a lot, but some of them already knows. You've seen these guys that are supposed to be alpha, that you supposedly like will show you the way for a wonderful life. Mental health is mental health. And with mental health, there are certain things that would be different from the other, where I was talking about some people can be late bloomers. Some are very slow and some are okay. I don't know if you've watched this, but I feel like this was a crime before because I like watching crime documentaries. You know how people or how police would interrogate, like making a murderer is one of them. Like if you're low IQ, you know, like it takes a certain amount of explanation and things that you have to understand. And mental health is just part of it. If the person, like mentally challenged, come into a situation that they cannot understand and they were being antagonized over and over and over again, of course, it's going to be easier to crack. And that's why if you're not in this case, if you're not in a spectrum, you know, there's no reason and there's no excuse for you to act like a man child or a woman child. And this is just what sometimes is too cringy for me, is because like I would see like supposedly the stigmatized 40-year-old virgins or like the Sims or the nerds, but they actually think more like a normal person, like an adult, than supposedly these alpha people who would you just disagree on something and they would be losing their shit and act like a woman.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to say what the I want to say, and I don't care what anybody got to say. I cannot be bought.
Oh, it's getting rocky, Martin. Hey, shut the up, BIDA.
You know, they would have these tantrums and they would just speak words that doesn't make sense. So it's like, you know, I just don't understand. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'll probably have my tantrums now and again. But for the most part, I feel like the now thing, all of these things that we see in social media is so fucking childish sometimes. And I feel like the more supposedly this guru thing and, you know, red pill happen, it pop up, it becomes something else and this and this and this. I'm just really afraid for a lot of new generation of men that is popping out into this world, because there's no idol anymore. Like there's no like figure of what maturity and what men really looks like. If you think you're a man, find a balance where you can actually, you know, guide all of these men out there that are acting like what I'm trying to say. Ganon. It's too much, guys. I think a woman will always benefit from mental health and therapy more because of menopause. Ooh la la, throwing off the woman on menopause, William, now. What is menopause? I'm sorry. And women are the number one cause for men to say. Oh, guys, see the chat, guys? All the woman haters are coming. Okay, guys, I told you. Do not take things personal, okay? You're bashing women, so I'm allowed to bash you guys. Fair game. But anyways, I am. Aw, arigato. And this is the thing, guys. See, practice. Practice. You know, when you say things it'll come back to you. Not people would always agree on us, even me. I'm not expecting you guys to agree with me all the time. I want you to disagree with me. If you disagree with me, practice how you're gonna relay it on me. Practice how you're gonna express that in words to people. Because expressing yourself is very, very important if you don't know yet. If you're happy, you won't mind the bullshit. Just leave it and focus on things that matters. Exactly. I see you look beautiful. Oh, Wishy. Arigato, arigato. Oh. I love having girlfriends, guys. When you feel like, you're like, okay, what's going on? And then someone would just say like, you look beautiful. okay, I'm good. Oh, diba? So thank you. And guys, please do thumbs up or thumbs down. Ayan, as long as you react on this stream and as long as you click me, I'm all good for that. I do love it.